Hey guys, welcome to Nate and Greg's World. Today we're taking a little bit of a break from all the serious comments and episodes and issues that are going on right now.
Too much stress.
Yeah, there's just too much crap going on. We've had enough. So we decided that today what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit more fun. And one of the things we got thinking, because we were sitting there and we were talking with our kids, and they started coming up with all these weird fucking words and talking like they're normal. And we had no clue what the hell they were saying. And so we're asking them, okay, well, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean? What does it mean? It's a word. This is what we use. It made no sense to us. And then we got thinking, well, hold on. We've had words in our past that, we used, and then they're no longer around anymore.
Well, we use them with our kids, and our kids are like, like, you're such a loser, Dad.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
do you say that?
Yeah, stop that. That's so last year.
Yeah.
So we decided, let's look up a bunch of different slang words, and so we went back as far as like the 1920s, and stuff like that. And we're finding out what different popular slang words we're going through all the decades,
Slang of the ages.
Yep, slang of the ages. And then we've even got some more stuff where, we have some military slang, because there's a lot of words that I end up using in my everyday vocabulary, and people look at me like, what in the fuck are you talking about? And these are people that have never served in the military before. So we're going to touch on some of those. Okay,
even when you're not using slang, I don't know what you're fucking talking about half the time, Greg.
Well, that's true. That's true. But oh well, fuck it. You'll figure it out. And then we're going to get into some of the stuff that's going on today, and we're also going to talk about some slang words and terms that are used around the world. And well, we have an example here of one term that is used down in like southern Ontario, whereas it's different in other parts of Ontario and other parts of Canada. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to have a look at that. So start thinking about all these slang words that you had when you were growing up. And if there's slang words that we didn't bring up today, let us know down in the comments. Tell us what the word is. Tell us what it's supposed to mean, because, hey, why not? Let's find out what everybody's actually talking about here. And as I said, we were talking with our kids earlier, and this is where the idea came up from, because they're talking all this weird talk. We had no clue what they were saying. So we brought our daughters in today.
Do you want to introduce yours? I'll introduce mine.
Yeah, this is Emily. She's weird, but she's my weird, so that's all good. So hi, Emily. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Oh. Talking to the mic.
Okay.
Jeez. We went over this for 15 minutes.
It's like talking to the mic, but at the same time, it's polite to make eye contact. So
yeah,
everything's confusing.
Well, you should be used to mics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Emily is an amazing singer. And I mean amazing singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But today here I got Chase, who is actually a child actor who's playing the part of my daughter. Because,
yes.
He doesn't want to take responsibility.
No, I'm a little bit more embarrassed by my own daughter. She's
Yeah.
not as good looking as this beautiful girl sitting beside me here today. So
yeah,
she'll be playing the part of my daughter.
Yes.
Just kidding.
She's actually about
Chase.
27 years old, playing, a 19-year-old.
That's right. Yeah.
Typical Hollywood casting.
That's right. That's right.
We do what we can, right? So yeah, there's been a lot of words, and like I had to look through the internet there the other day, and there's some weird shit that people have had, and some of them they make sense, and you know what? There's some that I found that some people are still using, and some of them are doing it in kind of an ironic fashion, if you will,
mm-hmm.
And stuff like this. So because our kids use certain language, I think we're going to ask them what they think some of these words actually mean. And don't you look over here and get the answers.
I won't.
Okay. But there's some interesting stuff, because first off, let's define, some slang words, okay? Or what slang is.
You're asking them like words that we would have used and seeing if they know the meaning? Is that what you're saying?
We're going to get to that part, but I'm also talking about, like the slang from like the 1920s, right?
Oh, before our time.
Yeah, way before our time, maybe the time of my wife, because she's old, but
well, I got to put into this because I wasn't there when you looked up these words. I might not know what the hell they mean.
Well, and that's going to be the fun part, because there's, as I said, there's so many words that sometimes we still do use these, or we've heard of them, but we're gonna figure out what they are. So we can all play the little game and find out what it means. You
Okay.
know? And we're gonna start back in the 1920s and stuff. But to be clear, slang is very informal language or specific words used by a particular group of people. You'll usually hear slang spoken more often than you'll see it put into writing through emails and text. Often contain many controversial slang words.
Wow.
Okay.
That's hip, Daddy-o.
So that's what we're talking about. All right.
You don't have to put your hand up. You just talk.
Yeah, just talk. It's all good.
Me and Dad have actually had conversations like this with your mom, and basically that's all of the English language right now because we don't speak Old English, right? So like it's
All pretty
kind
much
of
slang. Yep,
yeah.
made up.
Yeah.
Brought
Yeah.
in from
Yeah.
a
It's
lot of
just,
different
like,
languages.
Over time, we've like all the slang words have kind of added up, and now we've got like old.
That was close.
We've got like Old English, and then we have New English, which is basically just a whole lot of slang, and then we have slang, which is
Yeah.
the stuff that we're talking about now.
Exactly. Because, well, like, you know, have you guys seen the movie Cock Blockers?
No.
No.
No?
I haven't seen it. It's
I
on
know
Netflix
it's-
now.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
that one with all the emojis, right? And then
Yes.
the parents run around trying to stop their kids from having sex on prom night or something.
Exactly.
Like that, yeah.
That's it. There's a scene in
In the
there.
trailer.
Folks, if you haven't seen this movie, watch this. I am very much, I know I don't look like him, but I am very much that whole John Cena character in there. They're sitting there and the kids are texting back and forth and they're like, oh, they're talking about trees. Because look, see, they have trees and stuff like that. See, they must be talking about wanting to do something for the environment and stuff like
I
this.
see you as like his identical twin.
Oh, yeah?
The same as like me. I'm identical to The Rock.
Yes.
Dwayne
yes.
Johnson. Like that's what people see me. Like I get confused for him a lot.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yes.
I have
They're
no
the
doubt.
confused ones.
A little bit.
Wow.
Wow.
This is the kind of love we get from our kids.
Get your daughter under control over there, would
I
ya?
know.
Can we?
I'm going to have to go and buy another daughter like you did for yours.
That's right. Can we turn up? Which one is Chase's? Because sorry,
Yeah.
she's really light.
Okay. So over
So
on the floor
quiet.
there.
Number 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Just turn it there a bit. All right.
All right.
I think,
Let's try that.
yeah. You want to say
Hi.
something for us?
Hi.
Okay.
Oh,
That was
perfect.
awesome. Great sound check.
We didn't say take over the fucking show, Chase. We said just say something.
Okay.
Don't
All right.
spill my coffee
But-
anymore.
As I said, like I am that John Cena character because the kids are going along doing all these different emojis and all this stuff there. And he's like, oh, yeah, that means this. That means this. And then finally you have the one parent who actually understands it all. And he's like, no, man, these kids are hooking up.
wife.
They're making a pact to fuck that night,
Yeah.
you know? And, you know, John Cena, oh my God, freak out. Yeah, I was definitely John Cena, you know, watching all this stuff going on.
Before anybody calls the CAS on us,
Yeah.
talking like this with our daughters here, first of all, they were raised in our homes. They're used
Yeah.
to it. That's number
Yeah.
one. Number 2, they are,
We are legal adults as
19.
well.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm 19. She's 18.
Yeah.
Oh, when's
Whatever.
your birthday?
3 more months.
3
August
more.
31st.
Oh, you're 19.
Yeah.
You drink all the time here. You better be of age.
Lush.
Not my fault.
Okay. So, anyways, going back to the 1920s,
All right, let's hear some of these words.
23 skidoo.
23 skidoo.
23 skidoo. Any idea what that means?
Why do I feel like goes along with the cock blockers?
I feel like it might mean like something like, oh, that's really cool, or like sure thing.
No, not quite.
No, see, I would have
No.
gone with the sure thing for some reason.
Can you say it again?
The 23 skidoo.
Can you use it in a sentence, like in a put like something? You got to put something behind it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give
okay.
us some content.
Like,
So
this is
what,
rad,
once
man.
we're done here, we're going to 23 skidoo.
oh, we're gonna
Gonna
get
get
out
out.
of here.
Pretty much. Okay. To get going, move along, leave, or scram.
Oh,
How's that? Scram.
Scram.
That's almost another slang
Scram.
right there.
Like,
It is an
is that
actual
where
word.
scoop came from? Like
Yeah.
scooped?
I'd imagine it
Because
is.
that's slang.
Yeah.
More up to our time.
Yeah.
Let's scoop.
Okay, so
Below the
going
top.
along with the terms of 23 skidoo to get along, to get going, move along, leave or scram. Okay, what's one of the new fangled words that you youngins use nowadays?
Well, we like dip on things. Like we're like, okay, bye.
Yeah,
He's
or
gonna
like
dip.
we're gonna
Like,
dip.
yo, let's dip, and then we
Let's
leave.
dip.
Dip.
Okay.
Dip.
Okay, because I know I say I'm going to bounce. I do that all the
I
time.
say
I
bounce.
have
Yeah,
That
I
makes sense.
have people look at me all the time, and I'm like, yeah, well, I got to bounce now. They'll look at me. You got to what? Like, I know you're fat, and if you move too quick, you're gonna bounce. But
I usually say, let's scram, fat cat.
No, he doesn't. He usually goes with the okay, we gotta fly.
yeah,
Whenever, because we lived in London, but me and Brock went to school in St. Thomas, and every morning he like, okay, we gotta fly. Let's go.
yeah.
And that's what you said. Let's fly.
Let's fly.
Let's fly.
Well, and then that's a
That
whole other
is
thing.
fly.
That's from like the 90s.
Let's fly.
The
And
90s
that is fly.
That is fly, yo.
Fly. Same word.
And
two
they're
different
now looking at us
meanings.
going, "What the fuck are you old people saying?"
No, I get it.
Okay,
then-
Makes sense.
so the cat's pajamas.
Oh, this one I know.
Those
Yeah.
are like the bee's knees. Really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's the
Yeah.
thing. It's the thing.
Yeah.
The
Well,
cat's
and actually-
pajamas.
Yeah, the cat's pajamas, the best, the height of excellence. Okay. And Emily did kind of get something there with the bee's knees, because that's another term from the 1920s.
Yeah.
All right. That is excellent, outstanding. Oh man, that's the bee's knees. She's the bee's knees, and stuff like that. I don't know if you could actually say she's the bee's knees anymore, because that would be all kinds of wrong.
Well, yeah, that would
there'd
be
so
sexism.
many. Oh, totally.
How come she has the bee's knees but he doesn't?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it was a sexual thing. That's why you couldn't say it.
Yeah. So this is where we go. Yeah.
I feel like that will be a
So what do you
recurring
guys say now for that?
For what?
Like that's the greatest, the best.
On fleek.
Yeah.
I thought that was
What the f-
On fleek is like,
On fleek?
yeah,
on
it's like
point?
when you see, yeah, on fleek,
I think
when
so.
you see something on point, like it's like, that's solid. Well, solid is another one, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, another one is like, from the outsiders, a lot of people when we were reading that book in school was like, oh, that's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like they would use that
Say
as
that again like you just did.
that's tough.
Nice.
But tough, solid, on point, on fleek.
Mhm.
It's like your eyebrows are on fleek. They're
Wow.
very well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to move that camera there. We're going to keep talking there, but I want you to guys to figure out this one there. If I said her gams are the bee's knees, what the fuck did I just say?
Her legs are the bee's knees.
Her gams.
Her
Is that-
gams? Her
Is that what
breasts?
gams is?
Gams.
Breasts? Her boobs are.
You're a boob guy, aren't you? Don't answer that.
First of all, I'm not having that conversation with you.
That's why I said don't answer that.
And second of all, if you actually watched my podcast, you'd probably know that. Thanks for the support.
So yeah, you guys nailed it. Gams are legs.
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 She nailed it.
Yep.
High five.
Completely. All right. And you know what? Let's see. The real McCoy.
Oh,
The
that's
real
That's the
deal?
real McCoy.
that's when's that from? Because
Real
that seems
deal.
more like 80s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
no,
it's like it's from a
that's the
movie. Yeah,
1920s. That's the
Really?
1920s
Oh, wow.
slang.
Because I've actually heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh, and this is what I'm saying. There's some slang words that just kind of go through and kind of gap that whole generation, and go from generation to generation.
Mhm.
And there's ones like fleek, where if I said, "Oh, well, that's fleek right now," or "That's on fleek," or something like that. These two ladies here be like, "Dad, first off, not cool. Second off, that's like so 2 years ago."
Yeah.
No,
You know.
if you used it correctly,
Mhm.
but you
What
don't
about,
use
like-
them. You don't use them correctly. You mock them. So then we're like, okay.
What
and then we
about
walk
my bay is so fleek?
No.
Does that
yeah,
work?
No.
It would be my bay is looking on fleek or on point. Most people would say on point.
Yeah.
On fleek is like a more specific thing. Like your eyebrows are on fleek. Your outfit is on point.
I don't know.
There's
Oh,
certain
no,
slang
okay.
words
That's
that
I don't know.
very
That's the way
similar
I think
things.
about it.
Yeah.
It's like
I-
fleek is like the small detailed things. That's on fleek. It's a specific thing. On point is more general. It's like your outfit, your attitude, your whatever it is on point.
Wow.
It's all added up, so it's all making a point. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
one of those
Okay.
puzzle things. I
It's
guess,
not
if
that
that
hand
makes
gestures
sense.
aren't even helping me.
No, not at all.
Sorry.
Not at all.
I'm
Maybe if
thinking
they
of,
drew
like-
pictures or
Yeah,
something.
You know
Like-
those? No, you know those like puzzle like never
Rubik's
mind.
cubes.
No,
Is that-
Yeah.
like
Yeah, she did the whole Rubik's
wooden-
Cube type
Yeah.
thing. That's right.
The wooden block things that all like click together. Those are all the separate pieces that would be
Right.
on point. Where on fleek is just like one simple thing.
One
Oh.
puzzle piece.
Okay.
Yeah, one puzzle piece.
All
That's
right.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
so
anyways,
what was the one that you used? Just said I forget now.
Yeah.
I forget where
I'm
we
totally
were.
fucked up by all that. But the real McCoy,
The real McCoy, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the truth. Like this is it. This is the person. This is the truth.
the real thing, genuine,
Yeah.
sincere, you know, like this person is the real McCoy. The you know, interesting. Well, you know what? Let's move on to the 1930s. Here's a full term. I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Like, holy shit, I can't believe it.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. Because if anybody finds race or racial issue with this, they need to shut the fuck up and grow up. Okay, but
What does it mean?
I'll be a monkey's uncle.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Sign of disbelief. Right? Like, oh my God. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Right?
Or and.
So if you're just like, oh my God, I don't believe that. What's some of the terms that you would use?
Why would somebody be mad about the race thing?
Never mind.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Okay.
So we don't.
So
we
some
don't
of
want
our
that
viewers will
discussion.
understand it, you know, because there's been a lot of people upset about different things, and you know, yeah, we don't want to. We're done talking
not
about
yet. No
racism.
race
No
stuff.
racism today.
Light show.
Yes.
Um,
So what would you guys say if you guys, you know, didn't believe something? Like, oh my God, what? That's
Something like,
Crazy, it's
or
nuts.
that has, or like shook. Would
Yeah,
Yeah.
shook. That's what it is.
Mhm.
I'm shook.
Yeah,
really
Yeah.
yeah. A lot.
I'm
I
shook.
find a lot of the
I
slang.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
don't
the
use
slang
it a
that
lot.
comes
I
from-
only know what I'm like. I don't only know a little bit because like people around me say it in school and stuff and whatever. But
Mhm. But yeah, I
don't
find a
think
lot
I've
of it
ever
just
said
comes
on
from
TV.
memes or vines, and we say it because like it sounds funny, and then it
Yeah.
just integrates into our daily vocabulary, and then we can't stop saying it. Like
yeah,
like, there's
pretty
certain-
much.
Like
That's how it
yeet.
works. TikToks and Vines
Yeah.
and stuff come up with it, and then we just kind of adapt to it because
Yeah.
it's funny. So everybody
Right.
says it, and then it just becomes
so. Do you find you
Okay.
use some of these words more ironically? We'll say, or is it just because
Yeah.
you know
Some of
they're
it
Yeah.
fun to
starts,
say?
yes, some of it starts out ironic, and then it just ends up like once again like
Being
ironic, but then I can't stop saying it, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I haven't.
It's like it's like a movie scene that you find funny. So like you talk about it a lot and then like everybody just kind of knows. And every once in a while you'll just throw the movie line out there to make people laugh.
right.
And then after a while, like that just kind of becomes a part of it. You know, everybody
Mhm.
has like their thing that they say. Like you have your
Mhm.
friends on Facebook who always do the funny happy birthday pictures, and you have
Right.
like people just kind of come up with this stuff and then it adapts into their life. Becomes
That's
a solid thing.
Okay. Well, there's actually two more from the 1930s here that I have that I know have spanned generations and definite decades. So a gig.
that's
that's slang.
Isn't that
Apparently.
just a dance?
Yep.
A gig is like a.
No, not a jig, a gig.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
A gig is like, oh yeah,
That's a music thing.
yeah.
I have a
music
gig.
thing.
A job.
A job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a gig.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And then-
normally you wouldn't hear that about like most other than at this point, like
Yeah.
musicians like
Mhm.
have a concert or
Yeah.
like a show.
I got
They're
a
like,
gig
I
to
got
do.
a gig to do.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then skivvies.
That's underwear.
Yeah. Men's underwear.
I've
It sounds
heard
like
it
something you'd
before.
hear out of Pirates Caribbean.
Kind of.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Just a few centuries off, but like, yeah, like I definitely see where that's going.
Yeah. Well, no, like, you
That
know,
sounds like
you got some dirty skivvies, you know, you got to throw them away. You know, not cool.
I can just picture Captain Jack Sparrow saying it. Sorry.
Okay. Well, right now it seems like from the 1940s, we'll use this slang because the girls right now seem to be sitting in the hot seat.
On the spot.
That's from the 40s?
That's from the 40s,
Wow. Okay. What
dude.
is it?
Way back
Hot
in the
seat.
day.
Yeah, basically, Chase said it before,
What's that?
like on the spot.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Like, all
it's
the pressure is on there.
in a highly uncomfortable or embarrassing situation. So sitting here having to talk to your dads about what's cool nowadays and what the
I'm not married.
words are. No,
Are
because she never gets embarrassed. And well, no, I know Emily gets embarrassed a fair amount.
Emily
Mhm.
definitely does, but you can tell
Yeah.
when she's
Yeah.
embarrassed because her whole face just she's doing it right now.
Yeah,
No,
there
it's
you go.
just a lack like get any sort of emotional or.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
And
enough to do
apparently,
that.
smooch
That's
is from
Yeah.
1940s.
Yeah, that's it's fairly relevant.
Yeah.
still.
Smooch.
Yeah,
We're in a
there's a
smooch.
few that are, you know,
How do you
fairly
guys-
simple.
How do you
put
guys
that
say
into a
kiss
sentence?
now?
Like, oh, I'm gonna give this person like a smooch on the cheek.
But if you're if you're to kiss somebody, like smooch, what would
I
that?
don't think anybody really says a whole lot right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you say?
I'm glad that you don't know.
Yes, extremely
If you started
thrilled.
saying shit about how to say
Well,
I'm making out, I'd be
Well,
mildly
See, then
disappointed.
we'd be sitting in the hot seat.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be
well, like
mildly.
we have stuff for sex, like it's hook up. And
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, 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 hey,
Once
hey,
again-
That doesn't happen. That does
Yeah.
not happen.
Sorry, but
The
I
Nile
don't-
is not just a river in Egypt.
I don't. I don't know. I don't think we really have a whole lot.
yeah.
I could be wrong. I could be
Yeah.
way off. But I haven't heard anybody use any terms. We just kind of
Yeah.
say, yeah,
Well,
me,
like, we
me and this
know
person
what
are
it
going to
is.
make out.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that.
let's move on to the 1950s for a second, because you know what? I found a word here that they're using in one context, which, depending on who you are in today's day and age, if you hear this word, it is not the same definition,
Uh-oh.
right?
Mhm.
Hipster. Somebody define a hipster.
Mm.
Hipster.
Mm.
I feel like hipsters are.
Like I know what they are in today's terms, but
yeah,
Okay.
like I can picture a hipster. We did
but
that
I don't
game
know what
thing.
it means.
But-
Well, what is it in today's terms?
In today's terms, it's like someone that's like, oh yeah, I'm doing like all natural,
They're
all
doing all the like hip things.
yeah. They're like, oh, I did this before. It
Sure.
was cool.
Yeah, which they really didn't.
Yeah.
It's just a group of people who come up with new trends.
Yeah, and they're a little bit.
Is it
pretentious about
new trends, or is
They-
they're revamping old
Yeah,
ones? Because I
revamping
see
old ones.
a lot of
It's-
people that claim to be hipsters going, "Oh yeah,
It's
I'm
like-
doing this,"
it's
and
basically
they do
it's-
everything ironically.
It's like a vintage attitude, I guess, is the best way I can put it. They're bringing back new things and adapting it to like today's society.
Like man buns.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I hear hipster, I
Man
see man
buns.
bun. Not
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I
and
don't
people that
know.
wear like fucking hemp clothing and
Yeah,
See, I don't
don't
understand
follow
that.
the rules of
yeah.
being
I don't
cool.
understand.
So going with the 1950s, okay, it's an innovative and trendy person.
Yeah.
Okay. And going off of what the ladies are saying about, how hipsters are nowadays, I wouldn't say they're innovative and trendy people.
Mhm.
I would say that they're using the stuff from back in the day that might have been innovative and trendy back in the 1950s. And a lot of the shit they just do ironically.
See, to me,
Yeah.
like to me, hipster
ironically
hipster is
plagiarizing.
somebody who doesn't care about what's in.
Yeah.
They set their own pace. They go their own way.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. To me,
Isn't
is a
that just an
hipster.
independent person?
If we weren't using slang, Chase, but we're using slang.
Yes. Let's work with this. Jesus. Okay. And so another one that actually came from the 1950s, which I was kind of surprised, but a boo-boo.
But it's just
The
like,
monkey
whoa.
from Aladdin. That's
No,
what
that's a
popped into-
boo.
I know, but it's what popped into my head.
So what's a
No.
boo-boo?
Okay.
It's like a
It's like a-
you scrape
you
your knee.
hurt
Oh, you have
yourself.
you have a boo boo.
Yeah.
I feel like we're
A mistake or a wound.
Yeah.
So, I made a
Me.
boo-boo. Or, I got a boo-boo right here on my hand because I slipped and fell.
Ironically, that was going to be Chase's name.
Boo-boo?
Boo boo.
Yeah, I can understand.
nobody wanted
Just
me.
because of the slang.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on to the 1960s. And you know what, Nate? You actually nailed a couple of these right off the start.
My daughter's here. I don't want to talk about what I nailed.
Well, he's there, Daddy-O.
Oh, Daddy-O.
Daddy-O,
I thought that was
1960s.
See, I wish some of these would come back, like Daddy-O, Fat Cat,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think those
super
are just
cool.
like the older terms for like dude, bro, like
Yeah.
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 Fat cat.
That's pretty much
I
it.
think if somebody called me a fat cat in the wrong moment, I'd just punch them.
Fat
Like, I
Cat.
don't think that one should come back.
yeah.
Fat Cat was like a slang used for somebody that's running shit.
Yeah.
The top dog.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or, as in the 1960s, the man.
The man.
The man.
You're the
Man.
fat cat.
That's another slang right there. The man.
The man. You're
that one
right.
I think
A
is
person of
really-
authority or a group in power.
Yeah.
Right. But Daddy-O, okay, to clarify, is a man used to address a hipster or beatnik.
What?
I've heard beatnik, but I don't know what it means.
I'd have to actually look that up a little bit more to explain it.
Yeah.
But they're like the ones that you'd see in the older movies there, in the poetry shops, snapping your fingers. Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
My kind of people.
Yeah.
A beatnik is something that's in like on point as well, isn't it?
So it's
Something like that?
it's old school hipsters.
So what do you
Yeah.
guys? What slang do you guys use for like the most popular or the ones that are on the top of the food chain nowadays?
Assholes.
Yeah, I think that's been
Kind
through the
of,
time
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like, no, we just call them the popular kids, I think.
Yeah. Or like.
Or are we
I think
are we
maybe
talking like the man?
influencers.
Yeah,
Is
like
it-
somebody who's
Okay,
the
so
man.
the person who's in charge, right? Because like back in the like 1960s, and even now to a point there, people are like, "Oh, it's the man. The man's in charge. The man's going to keep you down."
I think
know.
it varies
Yeah.
from group to group because I
Mhm.
remember in school, like there were a few people that everybody just kind of knew.
Well, no,
Like-
no, we're not talking the popular group. Okay, these were the people in charge. So like your principal at the school, right? They're the one in charge. They're the one that's going to.
I still can't remember their names.
No. I'm not asking about names.
No, but like that's the thing. Like that's how like nobody listens to them.
you didn't have a term.
Like
Yeah.
we didn't have a
Okay.
term. We just avoided at all
Yeah.
costs.
Right.
If we had to
Something
take the
I s-
long way to class because the principal was standing there, we did.
Yeah, so
Okay.
sometimes there is
We-
a phrase that
they
my,
weren't-
my sister used to use, which with a capital B, and I feel like that kind of
Yeah, no.
describes the one principle.
Yeah,
Right.
no. Nobody really. It's not. I don't think it's the same as when you guys went to school.
Mm.
Because
I don't remember having a name though for fat like the top
No.
people either.
No.
Like not like a fat cat. Like I don't
No.
remember calling a principal or somebody who was in charge something other than like they said like asshole.
Yeah.
quite
now
often, or
knowing
prick.
now knowing like what fat cat means, like when you say that, I think of like the teachers that like everybody was cool with. The ones that like.
Mhm.
You actually did your work for them because like
Yeah.
you didn't like they gave it to you, so you did it because like you respected them, right? And you wanted to do your work for them and make them happy, like that was like the fat cat. That was
Was there a term for
awesome.
that?
just the best
No.
teacher.
Yeah.
Everybody
The best
just
teacher.
it was like
Lame.
no, like
Yeah.
we don't have. That's what I'm saying. We don't have words for that. We like everybody
we just make up
got,
different
it's
nicknames
just-
for them.
yeah. It's just an unspoken rule that this is the cool teacher.
Okay.
Oh my god, kids are fucking lazy these days.
Yeah.
Can't even come up with terms for things.
No. It's
I know.
fucking brutal.
No, we come up with individual nicknames for each teacher that
Dick
we like.
names.
Nicknames.
Oh, nicknames. Okay.
Okay.
I had a vice principal and we called her. Never mind.
You called her. Never mind.
We called her.
So 1970s,
70s. Okay, we're getting up here.
1970s. Okay.
The year I was born.
Catch you on the flip side.
Oh yes,
Catch
yes.
you on the
after-
I've
flip
heard
side.
that one. Yeah.
So, ladies,
Basically, yeah, I'm probably gonna die. See you there.
Not that
No.
extreme.
Okay.
no, not that extreme. No.
Same kind of deal, but just not
Yeah.
that extreme. That's
Yeah.
like I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. Just see you later.
See you on the flip side.
Feel
Yeah,
like
we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say to people when you're going to see them later now?
Just
See you
see
later.
ya.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy
so inventive.
Shit.
My God.
We should start coming up with terms for this generation.
Yeah, we should.
Putting
Totally.
them out there.
Yeah, because you know what? There's terms that that they're just like, yeah, no, we're just gonna say bye and see you later and stuff like that, and then they come up with words like fleek and point and
Well, and
stuff
I
like
think
Don't
that.
give
I
me
think-
credit for that. I, don't
I
know
think
that.
yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
think the popular thing now too is to like make everything shorter,
Yeah,
right? So instead of saying "I'll see you later," they say "later."
yeah,
I
feel like that was
early
more 80s.
2000s. So
Maybe not 80s, but like 90s, maybe.
Nobody
Really?
says "later" anymore. Later.
Late, no,
I hear it all
Yeah,
the
just
time.
see ya.
Later.
no,
Yeah.
I don't.
we're gonna have to figure this one out.
yeah.
We're gonna have to figure this one out.
I don't know. I think it depends on the person. Like if I'm saying, like if I've spent all day with like my friend or whatever, I'm just okay,
Mhm.
bye.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.
Okay, bye.
See, but shorten. That's the cool thing now.
Yeah.
Shorten everything. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and then like if you look at all the couples nowadays, right? All the couples, they always have that. Let's combine the two
No.
names together to.
Oh,
Not
ship
everybody
names.
does that. Ship names.
Yeah, ship names
That's
are more
more-
for like fictional characters.
Yeah, that's more for fictional movie stuff. Because
like SHIP.
yeah,
yeah,
SH
like we ship them. We want them to
Yeah,
be together. We
like-
ship that.
like we
Well, there's
ship
a
them. We
whole-
want them to
Okay,
be
that's a whole other
relationship.
thing.
Yeah.
How did a ship become together?
Yeah, because last I knew, a ship was what went across the ocean.
Yeah, I don't know how it came about.
Yeah, I think it probably comes from the word relationship and
Yeah.
like
See, shortened.
They shortened
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah.
out of
Shorten
it.
everything.
shorten from
But
I
it's-
want
it's
them to
not-
be in a relationship
Yeah.
to this is a ship.
You know
Like,
where
I
it's
ship
going?
them.
Eventually, everybody's just going to use the first letter of
Like-
every word, and they're just going to know what they're
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh.
Well, goodbye was originally like God be with you, and then it would like
See,
shorten and
everything's
shorten and
just
shorten,
slang.
and then goodbye.
And now it's going to
And
be
bye.
soon. It'll be GB,
That's text
No.
message.
and then
Shit.
jib.
I get
Jib.
so annoyed when
Yeah.
people do that and like she'll say RL,
IRL.
IRL sometimes
'Cause, like, my
in
brain's
real
just
life,
like,
and
it's
I'm like,
shorter.
I'm sitting right here. Like you can say the words
Like it's my brain's
Like,
like it's shorter
because I don't even use them. And I looked at her. I was like, did you just speak in text?
Yeah,
She's
but there's
like,
people that do that. I hear
Oh,
people
yeah.
sometimes
it
say
makes me
"lol."
so
Oh, ha, ha,
mad.
LOL.
They'll say
No,
"lol"
no,
or "lol"
yeah.
out loud,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Can you not just fucking laugh?
Yeah.
Like, does it take more energy to
I was-
laugh than just to say "lol"?"
Well, that's the best because like I've heard so many jokes about LOL, right?
Oh,
Like
Right.
Letterkenny does a great one there where Daryl is texting or apparently sexting with this one girl, and he's like, yeah, I asked her, hey, do you want to go on a date? And all she replied back was LOL. So yeah, we're definitely hooking up. And
No.
everybody's like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, lots of love, and stuff like that. And I've heard lots of people say, oh yeah, it means lots of loves, and they're like, no, that's laughing out
Yeah,
loud.
I have-
And then
I
other
have
people,
one-
then
there
I
was-
think somebody else in the skit there, they're like, yeah, it could mean lots of load too, stuff like that. You got to watch it; it's a great episode. But
No, there's this one, and it's like a text message between a mom and a daughter, and it's like, your aunt died, LOL. And the daughter's like, why are you laughing out loud? And she's like, what do you mean? That means lots of love. And she's like, no, mom, that's not what that means. And she's like, oh my God, I have to call all your relatives back. And I'm like, oh my God.
yeah, well, see, that's the
exactly what I was
problem.
thinking of.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. We keep getting these new things, LMAO, ROFLMAO.
That's what I'm saying, though. It seems that be going more the direction of short forming everything
Yes.
as opposed to coming up with
But I
new
feel
ways
like-
of saying it.
I feel like that's more just texting, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't speak that way, and a lot of people that I hang out with don't either.
No.
Like, I've
Yeah.
never, like, other than her and
And it's just
maybe,
like the one word.
I think
even.
my mom did it once. Both of them have spoken in, like, short form like that.
yeah, and even
I
then
don't know
like
what
it's just the
called.
one
What are those
term.
called?
Abbreviation.
I don't think so.
Abbreviations. Yeah, to abbreviate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
So
No, there's another
It drives
word.
me crazy when people talk to me like that. I'll just walk away.
So what we'll do now is we're actually going to get into more of our era,
80s?
the 1980s,
Yeah,
and starting off there.
when things were the best.
So bodacious. Do you,
You guys-
remember that?
Oh, yeah. Do you guys know
Oh
what
man, she's
bodacious is?
bodacious.
Well, the
Curvy.
80s was all the surfer term.
yeah,
Terms.
80s were very
surferish,
surfer.
skateboardish, like
Yeah,
rad, man. So
That turns
rad.
into grunge.
yeah.
Yeah.
So bodacious. What is bodacious?
I think curvy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has to do with the way somebody looks.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Hot. They're
Beautiful.
hot. Very beautiful.
Beautiful. She is
What
so
I was called all the
bodacious.
If, I
time.
think if somebody walked up and was like, you know how like you always get like catcall and stuff, and like at work, like people will come into my tail and the guys will hit on me, and I'm like, okay, stop. But I think if somebody said like bodacious or something
hitting
like
on
old,
you?
old like that,
Yeah,
I would.
what the fuck?
I'd
Who's
be
hitting
like,
on you?
Yeah, wait, whoa.
all right,
Hey,
I
hey,
see
hey,
You see how she's
I
just
know what's
ignoring this
going
shit?
Yeah, I know. Who's hitting on you? Do I need to
Oh,
come
it's so
stand by
bad.
your cash register
It's
one
so
day?
bad. Actually, I might call you someday because it gets bad. Like
Does
people
it?
are disrespectful. It's brutal. I
Hey.
wanted to punch the one guy.
Assholes. Get to 2020. We don't
Yeah.
catcall anymore. We don't hit on young girls
No.
in a like you're not cool. You ain't
Yeah.
getting anything.
Yeah,
Knock it
No.
off. Stop it.
yeah.
I had some old guy make a pickup line out of my name, like old dude, and slip me like a toonie in my hand, like was like didn't give me a choice, and then I thought he was gonna kiss my hand, and I was like freaking out because you can't hit an old dude. But I was like, yo, if you were 20 years younger, I'd hit you right
Well,
now. Don't touch
I
me.
hate to be that person, but you know what? There's a certain type of people that, like to hang out at the GT boutique.
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying.
30-year-olds all hit up. I've had messages on my Facebook when I come home from work shifts. So I told my boss, I was like, I'm not wearing my name tag anymore. People keep looking me up. And like my other bosses will be like, where's your name tag, Chase? And I'm like, nope, I don't wear that anymore. If you have an issue with it, take it up with Chris.
Or
Yeah.
just
My
give you a
boss.
name tag with like an alias name. Who cares
Yeah.
if
No,
it's your real
because-
name or not?
Because the receipt, like when you get a receipt, at the bottom of it, it says who your cashier is. So if they look at the bottom of their receipt, they can see it anyways. But at
Right.
least like when they're directly talking to me, they can't see my name. They can't address me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even so, like they could come up with name tags. You could come up with a work name, like a
Yeah,
something
we've
else.
talked about that like at
It'd
work
be a
and
lot
stuff, and a
safer.
lot of I have one of my
Mhm.
bosses actually want to do that, but we just don't.
You
If
could have like
you have
fat
issues,
cat.
if you have
Yeah.
issues with it, you just take your name tag off like I did.
Yeah.
But no,
Well, this is a whole other podcast that we're going to have a
Mhm.
little discussion on.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be on that one.
maybe
I've
we'll
got
do it
plenty of
live. Maybe we'll
stories.
do it live where they work, where she works.
Yeah.
No.
Kind of like a to catch a predator kind of style.
So we got to end this podcast from our jail cell.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to these slang terms. We've had bodacious, chillin'.
Oh, chilling.
Chilling.
Like a villain.
Chilling
And-
like a
yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
Who
Just
taught you
relaxing.
that one?
That
What?
one.
Who taught you that one? Chilling like a villain.
You did.
Oh yeah, that must be cool.
And then
No.
how about fly?
Fly.
Fly. So you said it was like
Pretty
to,
fly
to
for a
skedaddle.
white guy.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty fly for a white guy.
Yeah, fly is cool. Also for chilling, today's slang for that would be like just kind of vibing.
Vibing.
I don't know if
Yeah,
everyone
vibing.
uses because like there's
I
some
use
slang
that
that I
one.
use.
I'll use that
that
one.
nobody else uses. Like
It's
oh,
a
my ears jumped out.
vibe. It used to be. It's a mood. Now most people say it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
But I feel like those are also
What?
slightly different contexts too, because like
A mood is like if you say a mood, it's usually a bad thing. Like I'm in a mood.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
in a mood.
Mhm.
but
I've
you
told
can't-
both of you before you've been in a mood.
Yeah, but that's what we use.
There's a lot
now.
more being in a mood
Vibing
than being
is like-
vibing. Let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, I hang out. Yeah, I hang out with a lot of people who smoke, so they say vibe because they're stoners and they're always just vibe. But
Right. Right.
mood. I think my
Yeah, I
teachers used to say mood, and we would be like, "No, we're vibing," or like
Yeah.
you vibe to music.
Mhm. But yeah, but I also feel like mood's like just something that's like, oh yeah, this is very relatable. Instead of saying like same, which like what we used to do, it's like mood. That's a mood, or like
Mood.
that's a vibe.
Yeah, or like when one of your friends are ranting, and you're like, "That's a mood. I support that. That's
Yeah,
I
like-
know what you're talking about. That's a mood.
I feel
it's a
that.
So what if you're mooding and vibing all at the same time?
It's the same thing."
Yeah, I feel like it's just
What-
like it's just slightly different contexts.
Yeah, but what if we're using the different context for the different context
Yeah,
of the
like what if
contexted
you're
words?
yeah, what if you're in a mood but you're vibing while you're in a mood?
Yeah.
Then what?
Well, if you're in a
Do you have
mood, then
it
I
or
don't
not?
think you're vibing because like
I don't
vibing
know.
is just
Why
like
not?
just
I feel like I
I'm
was
just having a good time.
I'm in a mood. But I'm also
98%
kind
of the
vibing
time.
to my music. That's a period thing. You're on your period. You're like I've
Like
got such a
crying
mood
for
going
fun.
on.
How
but
did we
like,
get into
yeah.
periods?
Or like crying for like
Yeah.
5
Had
minutes
girls
straight
on
and
your
then
show.
laughing.
Mhm. Or like crying on the kitchen floor, and then you're like, "This song's really good."
Crying on the kitchen floor?
We have
Floors-
discussed this.
Floors are the
best
best
place
places to cry.
But on the kitchen floor?
Yeah.
That's a happy
Yeah, 'cause
place. That's where the
kitchen
food
floor-
is.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's
It's
why
the
you
tiles,
cry.
it's
You
the
let
cold-
it out,
Yeah, it's the
and you let the food just.
That kind of sounds like when you're drunk and you lay on the bathroom floor because the tile's cold and it feels
Yeah.
good.
yeah, and then the carpet's
How
hot while
well do
you're
you know
crying.
that feeling, Dad?
Huh?
How well do you know that feeling?
Not
Dad?
very well.
Okay, so then because gag me with a spoon.
That's basically the fuck me of that,
No,
those
that's
days.
not what it is.
No.
It kind of sounds
No.
like that maybe, but no.
I
Yeah,
don't think
no.
that's the word.
Nothing sexual in any way,
That's
shape, or
right.
form.
No,
Let's just say
no,
that.
I meant like just like I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that,
No,
that's what I mean.
Grossed
by it.
out,
Disgusting.
disgusted.
Gag me with a spoon. Fuck, you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gag me with a spoon. And then I think for a long time you got rid of the spoon thing. It was just
Gag me.
Gag.
Yeah.
Now that's a kink.
What do you guys?
What?
What? Oh my
There's a lot
God.
of shit you can't say anymore.
Like I
because it's
say, and I'll say it again. This is an actor. It is not my daughter. My daughter knows nothing about kinks and gagging.
Not gagging.
Or is kink a different
Jesus
slang word?
Christ.
Fuck. Who knows nowadays?
Whose fucking idea was it to have our daughters on this show?
You know, I really thought this was going to be gnarly, but it's not gnarly at all.
no. Gag me with a spoon.
Yeah.
Dude.
I've heard gnarly used as like gnarly as like, oh, that's really cool, or gnarly as in, oh, that's bad.
Yeah, gnarly started off as bad. Oh, that's gnarly, man. Like if somebody broke a bone or something in front. Oh, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
But then it became like this cool thing.
Oh,
Like,
that's
that's
gnarly. Yeah.
Well, like how,
Like radical,
that's
or
sick.
they just short form to, oh, that's rad.
Rad. It's got a double meaning to it.
And
for sure.
extreme.
Extreme.
You know, now extreme, that
that's like
personally,
90s.
that came more than I think the Doritos and fucking Mountain Dew really put a stamp on the whole extreme thing.
Yeah.
Because people that were extreme, it was always they're drinking Mountain Dew, eating Doritos, bungee jumping while skydiving, doing motocross and stuff like that.
Now, if
that's
you're
what is
extreme, you're bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Or if you're
extreme.
radical, yeah, it's
Or
bad.
If you're radical, you're bad.
If you're a radical, ooh. If you're extreme, yeah, you're bad.
Extremist.
Yeah.
Being,
No.
being corrected.
Oh,
Here we
being
go.
corrected.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry. Go ahead, take it.
The youngins are talking again.
Yes.
Extreme and
Yeah.
radical.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Well, all depends on who you talk to.
Politically, yeah.
Radical left, radical right, extreme right, extreme left. Yeah, extremist.
If
yeah.
you're saying it in a political
Yeah.
way.
I think
That's
I think
cool
it
though.
depends on your stance.
Stance
Wow.
and context
So-
too.
Well,
Con-
everything depends.
I like
yeah.
that word. What'd you say? What'd you say? What was that C word that you said?
Context.
Context. Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing?
We don't do that anymore.
No.
Nothing's done in context.
No, never.
But anyway, so what do you guys use for rad and radical and
Rad? I've had like
gnarly and
I'll like
Lit
message
was
my
a term for a while.
lit. Yeah,
lit?
lit. That's
Yeah.
lit.
Lit.
I think
Or like if
some people still use that one. I like radical more, honestly. I have friends who say that's rad.
Do you do this with your fingers when you say
Some
rad?
of
Yeah,
them
man,
do.
that's right.
That's rad.
I
man.
haven't seen
have
anyone do that.
fucking
And
I have
rad.
I have one friend who I can honestly say will probably say that on a daily basis and do the hand thing. That's rad, man.
Does he?
Or like if it's
So would they
surf
be
or say
considered a
skateboard?
hipster because they're trying to bring back old
He's
trends?
definitely not. He's more punk.
there's
Oh.
also like another word for like people who are like extreme, like you like instead of saying, oh yeah, that person's extreme, it's like they've got big dick energy. Cause
Yeah, big dick energy.
that was a thing for
That's
a
a thing.
while.
That's
And big
that,
dick
I
energy
feel like
can
that.
apply to anyone.
I don't have
like,
that.
if
No, I
person-
could
Yeah.
No,
Big dick
it's
Maybe
energy.
that's why I have low energy.
Yes.
no, it's not the physical, it's the spirit.
Hey, that shut them up for a
I'm
bit.
gonna-
Payback.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about it's just like, no, I'm not gonna just
Big dick
like I'm just
energy.
gonna do what I want.
That's
I
a
don't
mood
care.
too.
Yeah.
That you could use mood as that too. It's a mood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Radical, lit, mood, big dick energy. It's all the same.
Yeah. And if it's like dramatic, like, oh, that person's like extra. Like
Yeah,
a lot of my
extra.
makeup styles would be considered extra.
Extra.
Yeah.
Or
extra.
basically anything I do.
But extra isn't always a bad thing. It can be a
Mhm.
bad thing because when there's drama and stuff,
like,
and
holy shit,
girls
this person
just
is
start-
so extra
like
about
high
it.
school fights are extra.
Yeah.
Word.
Word.
Yeah,
Word up.
That too.
Yeah. Word.
I think
If
everybody.
you haven't
says
noticed,
that now
I've
is just
now
mocking
moved to the 90s.
90s.
Yeah.
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 Word. What else
Yeah.
came from the 90s?
Dis.
Dis. Oh.
Diss that.
We definitely still
Yeah,
use that one.
definitely
That
still
one's
use
still-
diss, but that and also
Oh, you
roast.
dissed her bad.
Now, will you diss someone who's getting jiggy? Would you diss your homeboy if they were getting jiggy?
We use homeboy. We don't use jiggy.
Right,
I think
we also
jiggy would
use
mean
homie.
something different. if
Homie,
we used it
homeboy.
Yeah.
now.
What does
Okay.
jiggy mean then?
If
I
we
think
used
getting
it now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Getting jiggy.
Getting jiggy. Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, but it's not dancing anymore. Well, it is. It's just a
No, it
dance.
wasn't then either.
Oh, no, it was.
Well, jiggy was a dance. but it
Basically,
became-
thanks to Will Smith.
Yeah, getting jiggy with it.
Na, na,
Yeah.
na, 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 na.
Na 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 na. Get jiggy with it.
I know that song. Wow.
That's like so old.
Okay.
Mm.
That wasn't where I was going. With
And then you got fat.
Fat.
PHAT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fat
We
with
still
the
use that. We
PH.
still use
Yeah.
that. But that's for like a girl's butt. If she's got a big butt, she's fat
Okay.
Or thick.
or
Now-
thick.
With
yeah,
two
we use
Cs.
thick
Now,
too.
there's a
It's
couple
not-
things
it's
here.
Thick with 2 C's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
THICC instead of CK.
And like that's only used for like, oh,
I don't
that
really
girl
see
is
the
thick,
point.
or like,
It's like because so many people were like body shaming and whatever, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, she's thick," and then like we kind of just changed one letter in it and was like, "Yeah, she's thick."
yeah, because if you call someone thick with CK, depending on where
Damn,
you are,
girl, you thick.
but like depending on like,
That's the
Mhm.
that's the new catcall.
So when
Yeah.
you call me thick, which is it, the CC or the CK?
you get a K.
yeah,
Ah,
CK is like you're thick in the
And I
head,
didn't
like
call
you're an
you
idiot.
thick. Amy called you thick.
Oh, you all do though.
Yeah.
You're
because
not-
we make fun
this
of
is
it.
what I get, right?
And then-
it's
and
not,
then
you're
because
not, you're
he-
not fat, honey.
he-
You're just thick.
Oh.
Yeah, like, not fat, you're just a
And
little
then-
husky.
and then
Well, that's what we get for just being the
Apparently,
rents.
And
apparently
then-
I'm
We're the
fat
rents.
and dumb.
Yeah.
she says that, and then Amy also says Puff Daddy. When you go out and smoke, she's like, "Oh, he's going to do a Puff Daddy."
Really? I've never even heard her say that's what she says when I leave?
She doesn't say it to you. She says it to us because she gets
I think
annoyed
that's an Amyism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
She's got her own
She-
thing going on.
because you quit smoking and then you started up again.
Yeah.
I don't smoke.
Yes, he does. He needs to stop,
Like
but
it.
he does.
Okay, so I want to get back to fat for a second because
The PH one.
the PH one, the PHAT, because according to this, it was cooler, hip, highly attractive, hot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
That's
I
what
remember when it
I'm
first came out, fat, PHAT, pretty hot and tempting.
What about
Yes.
Thas? I feel like Thas comes along with this.
What?
Does?
Yeah.
What?
What did you
I've
say?
never heard that
Speak
one.
into your
Thas?
mic.
Speaking of
Thas, you guys haven't seen that? It's like this. There's this model. I can't remember what her name is, but she's the first one to like the first like plus size model to have a Barbie like made after her or whatever that like doesn't have a thigh gap like anything like that. And Thas is like right here like on your hips when you've got like a little bit of like softness. They call that Thas because it's just another body shaming thing. Like it was just a bunch of people were body shaming, and then after that, like it was like Thas, and she made it look good. So now everybody's like, yeah, she got Thas.
Right.
So it's like
I've never
fat
heard of,
thighs,
but like
fat
probably.
ass. It's not a bad thing. I'm
Mhm.
not saying anything bad. I can't remember exactly what the post said, but I saw that and it was Thas, and I feel like that
I
goes
got
along with
Thas.
thick and the fat with the
Mhm.
PHAT.
Okay. That's interesting. Well, we've definitely hit a snafu.
I kind of want to look that up actually.
A Thas?
Snafu.
Snafu? Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know
Snafu.
what snafu is? I
Snafu,
do.
that's maybe snag or like
I spelled it
Nope.
wrong.
or,
Snafu. SNAFU. We're now breaking into the military terms, if we haven't realized. Situation normal, all fucked up. That's
oh,
what
that
it
makes
is.
sense. That
The
makes sense.
crease of the thigh and your hip. The ass of the thigh.
The ass of the thigh.
Oh, so now we're just combining
That's
two.
the-
Is that like a
Thas.
double chin? Like when
Kind
you-
of, except
okay.
this
Mhm.
except it's not like it's something that people actually like the look of now. Yeah.
Well, yes, big butts have become like an in thing
Mhm.
big time. For sure.
Big butts have always been a thing though.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Yep.
Other
Other brother can deny.
When
that
a
if
girl
he
walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Got it going on.
See, a lot of this is all FUBAR.
Fucked up
Fubar, I
beyond
remember
all
that.
recognition.
Yeah.
Yep. Fucked up beyond all recognition. But that's just kind of getting in. Those are like full terms because like the military really likes to do the acronym thing. So they have a whole bunch of stuff. I can never say it right. Buhika. Basically bend over, here it comes again. Okay. That's when you're going to be going and getting a whole bunch of kind of shit.
Nice.
Right. Stuff like that, which is snafu. Situation normal, all fucked up.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff like that. But then again, with the military terms, you've got some other stuff that's going on. Like especially like from the Canadian English military.
Is it just me?
Why
or
do
is
we
there a
have
little
no?
bit of
There's a little
echo?
bit.
Yeah,
That's okay.
right, there's like
Okay.
a buzz. I don't know what's going on.
Little
It'll
buzz
go
there,
away.
but it's gone. Okay. So, being from, the Canadian military myself, we have what's called your American gloves. Any idea what American gloves are? Your pockets. The pants pockets there, because Canadian military, you're not supposed to put your hands in your pockets. Pockets aren't really putting your hands in, but Americans, they tend to put their hands in their pockets all the time. So we call them your American pockets or American gloves. Okay. The American gloves. Let's see. You have the battalion bicycle.
Motorcycle or
No.
Is that when you're like clubbing the shit out of somebody?
Otherwise known as a shack rat.
Well, that's somebody who rats everybody out.
No. God help me if either of these two become shack rats.
Oh, I know what that is. Okay, yeah.
someone who sleeps with
That's like
guys
a-
just 'cause they're
that's
in
like-
the military uniform.
That's like the. I feel like that's a club girl, but like
Yeah.
the military version.
Yeah, like I know, like for cops, the term is like badge bunny.
Yeah,
Like,
Badge
yeah.
Bunny.
Whoa. Why, wait a second. Why are you guys all learning these military terms?
I think I learned
that
it
like
from
law-
Eyes
You're
on
the
Me.
one who brought it up.
Yeah,
That's
You
like,
can't get mad at us for knowing what being
Now,
educated.
That's
on
like
stuff.
lot. That's like
We're
lot.
teenagers.
Lot
What else are
liz-
we gonna talk about?
Lot,
that's like
a lot lizard.
for
Yeah.
truckers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lot
So
lizard.
basically, now here it says shack rat is a serviceman who left the barracks to do extra cleanup duty for the day. Any female who enters quarters to engage in promiscuity with those living in the housing unit. Now, let me tell you a little bit of a story about Emily at one point in
no.
time.
You're being brought up in this by your father.
Yes.
What did you do?
I don't remember.
So I had a friend of mine, right, who lived in the shacks, right? And we were driving by the shacks the one day. I was heading to the one part on the base there. And she's like, hey, we need to go to the shacks. And I'm like, oh, why? I'm thinking, does she want to go and visit my friend Fred? And she's like, oh, no. I just want to go and visit all the boys. Oh, fuck, no, you don't. You get that thought out of your fucking head. Like she was young at the time. So I'm like, no. She's not going to be a shack rat. It's not going to happen, But there's definitely some interesting ones. Sorry, I'm trying to go through these quickly here while we're figuring this stuff out, because that's the thing. The military, oh my God, we have so many terms. And some of them are, they come off as very mean and stuff like this. But a lot of times with the military, it's terms of endearment. Like if I went and said, hey, fucker, what's up? You'd be like, I can't believe they just called me a fucker. No.
No.
A fucker is a term of endearment. It's a gender neutral term of endearment.
But I think that goes beyond the military,
Yeah.
though. I do
Yeah,
that all the
just the
time with people. I'm like, hey, fucker.
Yeah.
Okay, what's a jug fuck?
I don't know.
Well, does that go along with the jug head?
No.
Mm.
This is a complete jug fuck.
Is this a
Like a shit
sexual
show?
Shit show's
Shit
another
show.
term. Yeah. Yeah. It's a disaster in the making.
Yeah.
Right. Horsecock. If I went and told all you to go out to the garage and get me the horsecock, what would you get me?
I don't have a horse.
Oh, you don't
A
need a horse for this.
No, you're right. I got myself. No.
Take a wild guess. What's a horsecock?
Don't look at my snacks.
I don't know. My first thought is hammer, but I know you use knockometer for hammer.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Any guesses?
Hammer was my only guess. Or wrench?
Horsecock. It is the spout that you're going to put onto a jerry can, like a big gas can type thing. There's it's a big, long spout that you go and you screw it onto a jerry can so you can go and fill your vehicle up with fuel. Normally diesel and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what a horsecock is. Fuck, I'm trying to find. No, I'm not going to use that.
You
I don't
know
know.
it's
It's
bad
just
when he won't use it.
no, because you guys already know what it is. A gun plumber.
Oh yeah, weapons technician.
That's right. Oh, I can't say that one because people are going to get really upset if I say that one. I can't do it.
Come on. I wanna
No,
know
no. It's all kinds of bad.
You gotta tell
All
me.
kinds of bad. Okay, fart sack. What's a fart sack?
Somebody who's useless.
No, that's a whole other thing.
I was thinking Dutch oven, but
A fart sack. I guarantee you, I know for a fact that you've all been in a fart sack before.
Well, I dated one.
No.
what?
If
Is it
you
the
dated a
oven?
fart sack, that'd be
so
all
like
kinds of weird.
a sleeping bag.
There you go. Yeah, sleeping bag, fart sack. Because while you're sleeping at night, you're sitting there farting. I know somebody in particular will do that.
I think everybody
Yeah.
here has
Yeah.
done that.
You know, and then you know, in the morning there, you kind of open up your fart sack and all the farts are released. You know,
So I was right. It's
Yeah.
a Dutch oven.
no, Dutch oven's an action that you do, kind of like a punami.
Mm.
Do you know what a
You look
punami
like
is?
you're about to throw up there, Chase.
The punami is great, and I have done that many times to the wife. That's where you go and you fart underneath the covers, and instead of pulling the covers up over their head, which would end up making it a Dutch oven, you just grab the covers and do the big wave back and forth, and it goes and kind of blows
That's
the
not
fart
what-
from down
I
below.
feel like that's
up
not
front.
what that is anymore.
Oh no, a punami. Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of
That's
times.
a word for your coochie.
What? Stop.
No, that's a punani.
Yeah.
Punani.
You're one letter off there.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
Yeah.
not the same.
And yes, spelled different.
What are some military slang that you guys think you've heard of?
None, honestly.
No idea.
No clue. I'm sure there's many that you guys have heard that you're like, oh, that's military.
Well, like I think slang comes from like all kinds of places, and then people just use it, right? Like they don't really.
Stuff that is made up in a group, a
Yeah.
specific group of
Like
people.
nothing,
Mhm.
nothing jumps
But then
to
it
mind.
and then it
ventures out.
jumps out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets out to the rest of the population.
And then people just start using it. I don't think.
What about a blue falcon? You ever heard of a blue falcon?
I feel like
No.
that's like the lead. Or like
I think so. Yeah, it sounds like it'd be the leader, maybe.
No.
is that the useless one?
That's a buddy fucker.
A what?
A buddy fucker.
Is that the?
Someone who's going to go and rat you out, be a blade,
Oh,
and all that stuff
it's a
there. A
snitch.
blue falcon. Yeah, snitch.
Snitch.
the younger.
Yep.
It's the youngest sibling.
Yeah. Who the fuck didn't bring this? Oh, sir, I know. This person didn't bring it. That's a blue falcon.
That person's the one that gets punched in the face.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different things. A bunny suit. A lot of military people have worn a bunny suit. What's a bunny suit?
The
I'm just picturing a bunch of like military guys and
just like for
And
no, dressed like
onesies.
no, dressed like
Ralph from the Christmas
Playboy
Story.
bunny girls at a
Mhm.
Christmas or at a Halloween.
You're
party.
imagining a bunch of military dudes running around in the Playboy bunny outfit. That's
Like-
what you're watching. Not to say that hasn't happened
Yeah.
before, because there's been some pretty
I feel
wild
like-
fucking parties.
Well, like I say, the military has that thing. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
What was
Yep.
the old, what was that saying again?
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see some of the guys I know doing that,
Yeah.
dressing up in a Playboy
Yeah, but-
bunny outfit.
No. A bunny suit is your big suit that you wear during like chemical warfare, nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare stuff. So you see those
Oh,
guys
wow.
walking around, they got the big gas mask on, and they got that full suit that goes all the way around. That full suit is your bunny suit. I don't know why they actually named it like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's it's interesting, but yeah. So we've had a few terms there from the military. We've talked about a few other things.
What I'd really like to get into is educating some parents out there on the new slang, so we can keep up with what our
Yes.
kids are talking about.
Well, we've been doing a little bit of that,
Little bit
catching
of
up
that.
on
But,
that.
Like, what would you girls say is like the biggest slang used nowadays? Like that is to your generation.
The one I hear the most is.
And let's see if
honestly
me
on
and Greg
fleek.
can guess what they mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
the first one I have is yeet, spelt Y-E-E-T.
Yeet.
Yeah, yeet.
I know what a skeet is,
No.
but a yeet?
Then our daughters better not know what a skeet is.
No. But what's
At
a,
all.
a
I'm
yeet?
looking it up now.
Yeet is basically like if I'm throwing something, it's like yeet is for distance, like yeet is like I'm yeeting this out of the studio. I'm not actually going to throw it because it's probably going to cause a disaster. Or yeet is like another way to say yes. That one was definitely one that came up from memes, but like yeet is also like to throw something.
So to throw something, or
Yeah.
when you
No.
say yes.
No, not really. Yeet is yeet is the way of saying it's basically YOLO YOLO. You only live once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeet. Like when I'm about to do something stupid and I know I probably shouldn't, I'm like yeet, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just like, for me, I normally use I'm just gonna yeet this thing into the stratosphere.
You guys can't even get your fucking language like to match.
Listen,
because it's
This is
different.
weird.
For
Like we
everybody.
said,
Everybody-
rad. We knew what we were
everybody-
Yeah.
talking
Okay,
about.
but my stupid is a whole lot stupider than her stupid. It's like a different stupid.
and also
Right,
like,
like, I'm-
different
like, if I'm-
communities that we're
If
part
I
of.
get dared to do something like we're going down the street and they're like, "Hey, sit out on the window, on the car window thing," right? I'm like, "Okay, yeet," and I go do it.
yeah, like there's
It's like
so many
YOLO.
terms.
Let's do it.
There's so many terms that
But
like
some people would use it differently, right? Like
YOLO.
YOLO.
YOLO was like
You don't
back
remember-
in like
Yeah.
2010.
I know that
Oh
was
my God.
elementary
God, it's
school.
so old.
Old for our terms.
Yeah,
Because
You
like
guys are a
2010 was like
couple
half of our life.
decades ahead of us.
What about Bay? Explain
Bay.
Bay, because this is
Yeah.
this
Bay-
is what I've heard. So Bay originally,
Before
I thought
anyone
meant
else.
well, see, what I always thought it meant when I first started hearing was like my boyfriend, and then I had some girl explain to me, no, it's not really your boyfriend. It's just the best guy friend that's
No.
there
No.
for you.
Not really. I mean, that's how it was originally. It was like, oh, he's my bae, she's my bae, before anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But then people also started putting that in place of like BFFs. So like,
or like you know how like some really close friends will be like, oh, yep, there's my wife.
yeah, wifey, bae. It's all kind of relationship stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's boy girl relationship. Like Emily's my bae. She's my before anyone else. She's my best friend. You know, she's like the one that if I have an issue that I want to talk to and need a listening ear, she's the one I go to before anyone else. She's my bae. Right? She's my
Right.
wifey. Actually, I divorced
I just
her
thought the
because she
kids-
watched
Yeah.
Dora until an unreasonable age. Anyways.
Like I just thought the kids were being lazy and just taking out the second B instead of saying, "Hey, babe."
That's what I thought.
That's
at
what I
first,
thought.
That's what I
and
always
then
thought. I thought
Yeah.
because it was always originally, I know,
It's like
it
now
was
we're
always
getting-
towards
it's like
a guy.
roll.
It's like now we're getting to the
height.
height of being lazy.
Yeah,
You know, where they
so
can't
my
even say a
bae.
full word,
Yeah, I'm
a
not as
4-letter word. And you
excited.
can't even say the full word.
What age did
The
you
fuck?
watch Dora till?
11.
You know, I didn't even really let my kids watch Dora.
No.
Any of those cartoons where they stopped and asked questions and like stared at you,
Hate that. It's so
like
weird.
that was
Remember
freaky as hell.
I
Oh, that's
mostly
so
watched it
annoying.
because I'm like, if I watch enough episodes of it, I will learn Spanish. I just know how to say.
Didn't she
"Hi,
say
how
all
are
the
you?"
same things all the time though?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was just different adventures. I remember because Peyton used to watch it all the time.
Yeah. But when you guys were little, it was like, what was the other cartoon that I was like absolutely never in my house?
It's
That
that fucking
Caillou.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm like,
I
there
didn't
is no
watch
way
that.
you're watching that.
Like,
You guys should go look up. I can't remember what exactly I did, but me and a friend were talking about Caillou because we had been talking about cartoons that Nick wasn't able to watch.
Mhm.
And then you went downstairs after saying Caillou was another one that like we were never allowed to watch. And then me and her started talking and we were like, I wonder what he has, right? Because he's supposed to have some kind of illness and that's why he gets away with everything. It's why he has no hair. It's like why he doesn't really go to school,
Really?
stuff like that. Yeah, he's supposed to be like sick. And we thought it was cancer, but we weren't sure. So I looked it up and there was this whole big like review thing on how he's literally just a waste of space and not even his parents like him and he doesn't deserve hair, so that's why it doesn't grow and all this stuff.
Wow.
I actually posted it on my Instagram because it was hilarious.
Well, he whines a shitload.
yeah.
That's all he does is cry and whine. And now there's an evil one, right?
No, he is the evil one.
No, but
People
who's-
are just extra. There's a good way of putting
There's
it.
People are extra. Wow.
No, but I
Aaron
thought
Foster
there
hates Caillou, and you should too. Caillou, one of the worst creations spawned by a man, has made a mortal enemy in Aaron Foster. Now the Texas running back is looking to rally against this despicable hairless child. And then there's like a bunch
Wow.
of them. Caillou can't grow hair not because he has cancer or some other sickness, but because he sucks, and even his own body recognizes that he does not deserve hair or food or love. Literally, it's brutal. Go
Wow.
look at this. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, but it's funny.
Okay. That's definitely interesting. We've been learning some weird words here that I'm still not going to get totally clear on at all.
Honestly, bae
you know.
is just before anybody else. So
Mhm.
your wife would be your bae because like she's
Oh, so it's an
before anyone
acronym,
else.
like the military.
It's an
That's
It's not
Okay.
actually. It's not like a
that's
short form.
jumping
It's
to conclusions, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not babe.
I'm pretty sure
It's-
I'm Greg's bae,
Yeah, that's
not
good,
his
yeah.
wife.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Poor Christine. It's so weird saying your guys' like real names because
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Any other words that we should know? Like
Yes.
ones that parents should
Yo.
watch out
Okay,
for.
because you
Like
still
if-
you still have younger siblings, and if we happen to go and catch them texting someone and saying something,
Well, that's what I'm
We-
saying.
we
Like,
wanna know.
is there anything that parents should be warned of, like from cock blockers, where
Okay,
if you
okay,
see
okay,
your
wait,
kid
wait,
saying
wait,
this, worry about
well, you
it.
know what? I found
Okay, wait,
I
though.
found one that it was like CD9, and apparently that's like code 9. Parents are in the room. Don't fucking say anything. Don't talk or don't text me anything weird and shit like that.
That must be
those-
after.
Yeah, no. Okay, so
So,
like,
what are some big
2000
worrisome words?
2002, 2003 is the cutoff. After that, like Brock is the start of it. Like Brock and younger, they all have their own shit that they do.
Yeah.
And
we
you,
don't-
and you guys
we-
don't even know it.
We hardly understand that.
Mhm.
Like we can usually make it out. Like we can figure out what they mean,
Yeah.
but it's like reading picture words.
Yeah.
Like instead of
Right.
like it's just weird. Like we don't.
So I
and
know
we
what
don't
the eggplant
understand
emoji is.
So you're
I figured
getting
that
old.
one out.
So you're getting old, is what you're
No, they're
saying. You
just
can't
coming-
keep
they're
up with the
coming up with
times
new stuff.
anymore.
It's ridiculous. And like most of the stuff, like they're super just the way that they are. I don't even know. But
Although,
like
like-
any go on any kid's social media nowadays.
Mhm.
There's 15-year-olds that are like, cash me outside, how about that? And all this shit and getting famous for it. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Never mind.
She's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many of them
Yeah.
that are just like they're getting famous for this literally the stupidest things and like we don't understand it either.
Mhm.
So good
Yeah.
luck with that
Like
one.
like I've,
Well, we just want to welcome you to the older
Yeah, that's
generation
right.
now.
That's right.
You have now reached that pinnacle there that you're no longer a child and you're suddenly realizing these kids are dumb.
Do
We
you
have
find
our
that
shit. Our
music
shit's
is
better.
worse now? Do you
Yes.
listen to new music? Oh, they are officially old. Oh
They
my
are old.
God,
I
you
don't
are
know.
old.
I prefer the music that you listen to the stuff that
Well, that's because I raised you on rock.
Yeah.
I know.
Whenever
And
we
our,
were-
our music was fucking good.
Well, it's funny because you know what? Like so many cars I got into with little kids when I was like my friends had little kids and they'd be listening to this like
Yeah, I'm
fucking,
really
like,
glad you clarified that.
this Sesame Street fucking music and this kid like You Are My Son, whatever. I
No.
don't know all this bullshit. Like
I used
people
to go
got
to
into
sleep
my
listening
car.
to Metallica.
Yeah, like my kids listen to Metallica, AC/DC. Like that's what we listen to on road trips,
Yeah.
right?
See, I don't
Not
remember
this-
listening to AC/DC with you. I remember mom putting AC/DC on and country. That was what she listened to. And then JB and Taylor Swift. You, I always remember Guns N' Roses, Green Day, Billy Talent, and
Metallica.
Metallica.
A lot of Metallica.
A
Yeah,
lot of
like
Metallica.
Heavy rock.
Yeah, I remember singing along. Like we had, like I said, we lived in London, but we went to school in St. Thomas. So for that, like
Yeah.
45 minutes, we were listening to rock every morning.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, we're definitely clearing up some things about, the ages, the slang through the different ages, the age gaps,
I-
and like as we just found out, apparently even now you have 20-year-olds that are like, I don't understand what these kids are saying nowadays, right? And that seems to be fairly general. But there's, and then we also have the different cultures. So like you have the military, right? That's a culture in its own. It
Mhm.
really is, and so they're going to have a lot of terms there. But with the culture, it also comes, the demographic,
Yes.
right? Because right here in Ontario, one term is used a different way throughout all of Ontario. Because we're up in Thunder Bay a couple weekends ago there, and someone said, "Oh yeah, man, we have this shag to go to." I'm sorry, you have a what to go to? Because as soon as they said shag, all I'm thinking is Austin Powers.
Having sex.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
having sex. And I'm like, you guys are all going to this shag together? Like, what are you up to? And no, apparently it's a shag party. Okay. A shag party down here is considered a stag and doe or a buck and doe. There's
Oh,
also
yeah.
a hen and stag
Remember Mom
party,
talking about this.
a Jack and Jill, In other places, it's a social or wedding social and stuff like that. And that's just
Bachelor,
basically,
bachelorette party.
yeah, the bachelor bachelorette party, but it's combined together, and that's what it is. So like
I
even
thought-
within
isn't that,
Ontario, it's
like-
all fucking different.
Doesn't that completely defeat the purpose? Like the guys
Purpose
are
of what?
supposed to go party together and the girls.
Oh no,
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 that's different.
Th-
That's
it-
totally
this is different, right?
The stag and doe is like a way to raise money for the wedding.
Yes.
So you have a party together
Oh,
with
okay.
everybody. You're thinking of
Okay.
the bachelor and the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
there's still the
about.
bachelor bachelorette parties and stuff like this, but then this one is also like a combined type thing where you get everybody together, but it's to raise the money for the wedding and all this.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's stag and doe. Apparently stag and drag party. Not sure what that is. Hen and stag, buck and
Probably
doe,
the country
Jack and
version.
Jill. I've heard Jack and Jill.
Doe. Buck and doe I've heard a lot. That's
Yeah.
like a very farmerish term.
Yes.
Like people that
Some
live
of
on
these
farms.
sound very country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing. It's primarily in Ontario. These terms are being used. Like I don't know what terms are being used out in BC. Like are they using stag and doe or are they using something else? Because like Manitoba, they have social or wedding social.
Well, and I think that we need to make those terms more inclusive too.
yeah.
So we should have like a Jack and Jake
Yeah.
and Jill and Jane
Yeah.
parties, right?
Sure.
For the
And
whole-
you know
like,
what? I'm sure there are. with
I
the
think
different.
because
Are there?
from
We
what,
should have
what I'm getting
figure
from
that
this,
out.
Yeah.
what I'm getting from this is like as you get older, like you might not have known all the military ones when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
And then you went into the military and you learned them. And now that
Yes.
you know them, you use them, you know how to use them, and they're a part of your vocabulary. I like when I think of slang, I think of all of the things that I heard in high school. You know, like everybody had a different word for cigarettes. Everybody had a different word for how they were getting out of class. Like
Yeah.
everybody had different words. Every school that you went to, there were different words, slang
Oh,
words
for
for
sure.
everything.
Yeah,
Or different
you know?
groups. Like you had
Oh,
your
Exactly.
your geeks,
So-
your rockers, your dope heads, your
Yeah.
athletes, whatever. They all would have their
Yeah.
own kind of vocabulary that they use,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all
So-
it's all cultural.
And also,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to mention, like, there are a lot of terms
Like
between us that like are so radically different. Like what I'll call like a hair elastic, she'll call a ponytail, or
like it's just different words,
Yeah.
right? Like
Mhm.
it circles back to the whole thing of like all English language right now
Yeah.
is just made up of slang.
Yeah.
That's all we use now, right?
Mhm.
So it just kind of depends what group and how old you are. Like as I grow up, I might go to a Stag and Doe or a Jane and Jill or whatever, you know what I mean? I might
Yeah.
learn those because I'm going to them or I'm hearing about them, right? Like but you learn slang as you go. And new slang comes like when you're younger, right? Like I know a lot of words that I used to use, Brock will say now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what did you just say? And like I recognize it because when I was his age, I used those words, or like
Mhm.
people around me use those words, but we don't use them anymore. We use the words that we use now, right? So he might grow into them, or he might bring his words with him. You know what I mean? Like it all kind of depends on how old you are when you were born, what you went through, what groups you're a part of,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and like you brought up the whole point about different words for like cigarettes,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like the British, they use a word that we can't even say on this
Yeah.
program.
Yeah,
right now.
But you should be able to in that
You
content.
should.
right? Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
smoke that, and
Yeah,
but
Well,
yeah,
at Central, people called them darts.
yeah,
You're going to smoke a dart.
yeah. Go have a
But at
dart.
Joe's, when I said, "Oh, are you guys going out to smoke a dart?" They'd
Yeah.
be like, "A what?"
Yeah,
Because they thought, like, a lot of people thought that dart was a joint
Mm-hmm.
instead of a cigarette, and I was like, "No, like a cigarette. You're going for a smoke break."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, but what did you call it?" I said dart because that's what Central was, right? And then you also have your different places, right? Like at Joe's, everybody knows what the back path is. Everybody know at Central, everybody knows the back path is the smoker spot. It's the
Okay.
spot just off of school property where people go to
okay,
smoke.
okay.
because they
I thought
can't
this
get
was
fined
something
for it.
else
We used
completely
to- we used to
different. I'm
call
like,
it a
whoa, where are
smoke
we
pit.
going?
A
yeah,
smoke
it
pit?
was a smoke pit
Yeah.
when I was in school.
Smoke,
going to
yeah,
the
but
pit.
now we have it like actually like what it is. Like at Central, it's the West Doors. Joe's, it's
Right.
the back path. PCI, I think it's the like right by the train tracks, right in between
Okay.
the bushes and the train tracks out at front of the school.
Yeah.
And then at Voden, I think there's like an alleyway that they go to because they're like right downtown, right? So like it's the school and then it's a bunch of shops and there's like a little alleyway in between that they go to. I think I don't know. I didn't
But I like
pay
how you bring
attention.
up the word, the cigarette word in
Yeah.
British terms, because there's more than that, right? Like
Oh yeah.
when you look at the R word that you're no longer allowed to say,
yes.
but when you look at the origins of that word, it meant to slow down.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Like,
like
it's still
in
used in
French.
I think-
mechanics.
I'll give a prime example. Okay, there is a component in an AK-47. Okay, or was it installed in the AK-74? But anyways, it's called the retarder.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
and it's to slow things down and make it so that it's not, the rate of fire is basically consistent the whole
same,
time.
Same in
Yeah.
big trucks. They
Yeah.
have an engine retarder,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? And it
Yeah.
just means it slows the engine down.
yeah,
I-
Right? That's all.
I have a lot of friends who used to say the R word, and like when Nick came into our lives, I kind of got like sensitive to it. Like we all kind of like
Yeah.
we're like, can we just like kind of stop saying this a little bit around me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they were super supportive of it, but like I have one friend who's actually used it in like a proper way of saying it, like it's
Yeah.
to slow down. And he looked at me, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it just kind of slipped out." I was like, "No, you used it as a proper way."
Yeah.
I think it's only offensive when you use it in an improper way,
yeah.
because it has to do with people who are
Well,
slower, right?
and that's the thing,
So it
right?
depends a
'Cause-
lot on the way you use the
I-
word.
Yeah, exactly. And like
'Cause-
myself, like that was a huge word for me. I used it all the time, right?
Yeah.
But
No.
for myself, right, I never used it in a sense of, someone with, special needs, Down
Mhm.
syndrome, or anything like that. It was never anything about that. I say it a lot. And when I say that, I mean stuff like Jersey Shore, right? Like that's my example. Like that's fucking stupid. That like I can't stand that show, and stuff like that, and so I would continually use it all the time. And it's one of those things that
But then you have the slang words for that stuff, and they're still considered sometimes okay, but they are offensive. Like handicap.
yeah,
If somebody has a handicap, well,
Yeah.
that came from that people with disabilities used to have to beg for money.
yeah,
So they had their cap in their hand, handicapped, to beg
Yeah.
for change, beg for money,
yeah,
right? But we
Yeah,
still,
but
a
now
lot of
that's
people
on-
use that.
yeah,
But that's on like signs. Like there's like
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I
it's
mean?
but
The-
it actually came from a very like rude
yeah,
thing to say, like, oh, you're handicapped,
Yeah.
which means basically your only way to make money or live is to beg for money,
Mhm.
right? Because you hold your cap in your
Yeah.
hand for money. But we didn't stop that. But then when it comes to words like to retard something, like, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
that made the jump to kids with Down syndrome when it was considered okay to say,
yeah,
because it was a way of saying that they developed slower, they were
But I don't think-
cognitively slower. And then the same with the word fag. Like,
Yes.
it's always been a cigarette.
Mhm.
When you look in, like, over in Europe,
yeah,
they don't call homosexuals, because that would be very confusing. Like, I'm going to smoke a fag.
yeah,
You're going to shoot somebody, or you're going to smoke a cigarette? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about, right? So that's the.
yeah.
But
And that's
I
the
think
thing.
it just
There's
circles
some
back to the way you say it and where
Mhm.
you come from. Because
Context.
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 We keep
Context.
pushing that on this show.
Yeah.
It's context.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the hugest part about it is the context, because like you look at a lot of the comedians, they say different things, and it's the context and when they're saying it, is it meant to be malicious?
Right.
Okay. And that's the thing. Any of the words that end up being used, is it used in a malicious intent? Yes. Okay. Bad.
Mhm.
Okay. Is it not used in a malicious intent? Okay, then fine.
Well-
There should be no problem with
Well,
it.
like
But that's the problem nowadays. Oh my God, words are horrible. And I think it was Ralphie May. He
Mhm.
said it wonderfully. Okay,
that?
let's get rid of the N word. He was a comedian,
Okay.
really funny guy. He's like, okay, let's get rid of the N word and just start calling everybody Oreos. Oh man, this Oreo, and stuff like this, blah blah. What? You're calling me a delicious cookie? Like,
Right.
and stuff like that. Words are words until you use it in a certain context, and then that's when it becomes a problem.
And it
Yeah.
is context, because like you're getting better with that word, and same with me, because
Yeah.
I used to use it all the time, the R
Yeah.
word,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
not the other
talking-
word, not the N word,
Yeah,
I remember talking
the R
about
word.
TV
And
shows.
like, but when you say it, I don't really take offense, because
No.
I know what your context around using it is,
Yes.
right? And if I hear it out in public, I don't get offended by it,
Yeah.
because unless Like the only time I get offended is if somebody looked at my son Nick
Yeah.
or somebody else with Down syndrome and said, "Oh, look, that kid is."
They're getting knocked out
Yeah.
then.
But listen though, but this is the thing. Again, you have to take it in context because
Yeah.
if it's somebody my age doing it or younger, but
Yeah.
if you have an 80-year-old grandma
Yeah.
who says,
I don't hit
"Oh,
old
this
people,
kid
I
is
promise.
Yeah.
retarded,"
Yeah.
they're not thinking it's a bad word because
No.
that's the word they use. That
Yes.
was
like
the
great
word
grandma.
of that time.
slow.
It's like great grandma. She used to use words like that all the time, but like she never meant anything by it. She was the
Right.
sweetest lady ever.
Right.
She
Yeah.
just that was
That
Exactly.
was the
that
word
was-
of that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the word she used, right?
And that's when you nicely correct them. You're like, actually, we don't say that anymore. We
Yeah.
say whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if it's somebody like our age
Yeah.
and they look at a kid and go, "Oh, look at that kid, he's or she's,"
Yeah.
then
Then
yeah,
we're
I'm
gonna have
taking
an
offense
issue.
and we're gonna have some words,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're being a fucking douchebag
Yeah.
saying
Exactly.
that, right? So
And they're
context.
itself.
Well,
Douchebag.
douchebag.
I know.
Douchebag itself.
That
It's an actual good thing for certain circumstances that I don't really want to get into because my daughter's here right now. Okay, and
Okay,
your
but-
daughter's here. I don't want to talk about that.
I-
But to call someone a douchebag, that's a bad thing.
I do actually, because I
Oh.
was actually gonna bring it up for a second.
Great.
Because okay, because me and Brock got in a fight the one day, and one of us called the other one a douchebag or something like that. Like we were
Yeah.
younger, like we didn't know what words meant, right? And Dad actually sat us down and was like, "Do you know what that word means?"
Yeah.
And he gave us a history lesson on what the word meant, and he
Yeah.
we went over like a bunch of words because after we learned what douchebag was, we were like, well, what about this word? What about that word? Like, where did these words come from? Why do we use them the way we do now? And we had this whole big conversation. I think that helped me a lot because now when I use words,
Mhm.
I have to think about it, right? I think that's also why I'm so sensitive to people using the words in the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody gets offended, like one of my friends will get offended by something somebody said back in school, and they'll be like, "Hey, you R word," right?
Yeah.
Or something. And I'm like, that's not what they are. Like, I'm on
Yeah.
your side, but that's not what they are. If
Yeah.
you're going to use a word, know what it means.
Yes.
Okay. Don't use it improperly because that's when people actually do get offended. And like at that point, like Nick was in our lives. So I was like, hey, like you can't say that. Like that's not what that means. That's not what she is. She's being an asshole. She's
Yeah.
being a horrible person.
Yeah.
But that's not like she's not that. That's not what that
Mhm.
means, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's when I get upset about people. And it's not just the R word or whatever. It's any word, if you're
No, there's-
using a word and it doesn't make sense, then that just makes you sound stupid and like you don't actually have anything to say. You're just talking to hear yourself talk at that point
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're saying.
No.
And that's not a bad thing. It's like the new thing is people will say I don't have enough education on this to know what my opinion is.
Yeah.
It is okay to say that. It is okay to
Yeah.
say I don't have an
I wish
opinion on
people
this.
would say that more these
Yeah.
days.
Yes.
Yes. I don't have
Exactly.
the facts. I don't have the statistics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we had one conversation, right, about that word, the douchebag word. And that's what we talked about. And we spent like a good, I think it was like an hour and a half. We just sat down, we talked about words
About
and where they came
douchebags?
from.
That's a long history lesson for that.
No, but different words as well, And now, when I get into arguments and I'm talking to people, I put a lot of thought into what I'm saying because
Yeah.
I want it to make sense. I want people to hear my argument and know that I'm not just throwing things out there.
Right.
I'm not just hurling insults and stuff. I actually have something educated to say and you need to listen. And people tend to listen to you more if you use the proper words.
Yes.
Mom used to talk to me about that too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like words, terms, they all have history to them.
Mhm.
Some of them start out as good, some of them start out as bad, and sometimes they change over times. They go from good to bad, and sometimes from bad to good.
Absolutely.
It all depends. And then there's like full on terms that, just statements that people say that nobody knows where it comes from. I'll give you a great example. It's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey,
Yes.
right? Do you ladies know what that means?
I remember you told me about it, but I forget. I forget.
Okay.
I feel like
What about
you've
you,
said
Chase?
I feel like you've said things like that before.
Yeah. Right. It's
It's
really,
just-
really
yeah.
cold outside, and you're like,
Mhm.
man, cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Right.
Yeah.
So what was the first image that you have?
A brass monkey with blue balls.
Okay. Well, little history lesson here. Okay. A monkey was what held the cannonballs on a ship. Okay. And it was normally in like a triangle shape, sometimes a square shape, right? But they were made out of brass, right? Well, the cannonballs are not made out of brass. All right. It's a more heavy metal type thing. Whereas brass, when it gets cold, it's going to condense and shrink. So you'd have this little triangle or a square called a monkey made out of brass. So that's your brass monkey. And so when the ships are going over the ocean and stuff like this, you know, the cannonballs are all stacked up on it. Well, the brass would actually get cold, contract, and then the cannonballs would fall off the brass monkey. So it's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey.
The only thing I can think of that whole time you're talking about that is a song. Brass monkey.
That funky monkey. Oh, fuck. We better be careful. We might get another fucking, what is it?
Oh, yeah. We had,
copyright infringement.
Copyright infringement. I got to still deal with that, too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it comes down to context, what's the actual history of some of these words? You know, it gets crazy. Like, and I know Emily, like, I don't know if we're going to get right into it and all this good stuff because, we have been going along pretty good with this, but Emily came up with a bunch of terms because she went on to this Discord thing that I was yet still to figure out because, well, we're old, right? We've just barely figured out Facebook, but she went on there to find some Australian terms. And like, I know we were talking the other day about a fanny pack.
A fanny pack, yes. My mom getting caught, which I've told this story on the podcast before.
Yeah.
But really quickly, my mom was in Australia and she wore a fanny pack when she was traveling.
And for those that don't remember what a fanny pack is, that's the thing that The Rock wore in that one picture there where he had like the black turtleneck, right? That little man purse, if you will.
Yeah, and it straps on like a belt around your waist.
Yeah.
But my mom had that because she's super hip to the jive.
Yeah.
And so she was in a bar and thought she left it in there. She went in looking for it. And she was asking everybody that if they had seen her fanny pack. Well, in Australia, fanny pack is a vagina. So my mom was essentially walking around a bar asking everybody if they had seen her vagina. So yes, words do mean different things in different places.
Yeah. So Emily, how about you pick out like two that are like right off the wall, and then I think we'll wrap it up from there.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one is the word thongs. Use it in a sentence. Man, it was so hot that my thongs melted into the pavement. Any guesses on what that means?
Why do you have your thongs off in the first place?
In Australia, thongs means flip-flops.
Flip-flops. That makes sense. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Whereas here in Canada, I don't even, I was going to make a comment here, but our daughters are right here. But, it goes back to that whole song there, the thong song. That's what I'm thinking.
So if I go to Australia and I say, oh, man, my thongs are riding right up my ass.
Yeah.
I'm essentially saying I have sandals shoved in my ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, why are you putting this up there?
All right.
Or, hey, mind tossing me a rubber? That's another,
okay.
It's different.
I know what that would mean here.
Yeah.
Any guesses on what that means in Australia?
Well, apparently I'm guessing not a condom.
No, it is not, because this is commonly said in elementary schools. So.
Oh, so an eraser.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
See, there we go.
School.
I knew that one.
Oh, you have all these terms that, over here they be sexualized, we'll say, and over there it's like, it's not. And then the words that aren't sexualized over here are apparently sexualized down there. They really are upside down over there.
Well, it's because their toilet swirls the other way.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. Well, ladies, want to thank you for coming in and educating us on some of these newfound fangled ideas, and congratulations on finally realizing you guys are old now. You guys are old.
Music of the day sucks.
I've been saying that I'm the grandma friend, or like I'm pretty sure I'm actually in her phone as Granny.
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger, right?
She's Granny, and then what was I?
Baby Groot.
Baby Groot. No, before
she
that.
She talks way too much to be Groot.
Disrespectful whippersnipper was what I.
That's more like it.
Disrespectful whippersnapper. That's what it was.
Anyways,
I'll fight you on your own show. I don't care.
Turn into the Jerry Springer show.
All right. Well, anyways, ladies, thanks for coming on, folks. Listen, we've gone over a bunch of different terms, slang words, slang terms. We want to know some of the stuff that are out there that you guys have heard. So come on, please leave us some comments. We want to hear some funny stuff. And once again, let's not get into racial terms. I don't want to fucking see any of that shit. Okay. But make sure you hit that subscribe and like. Check us out on all of our different platforms. If you don't like sitting here watching us, which I recommend that you do, check us out on our audio platforms. We're all over the fucking place. So check us out. And until then, have a good one.
Later.
Why are you so offended?